These beats are the purest.
These beats are the purest. Roll it, roll it. beats are the purest, prove it.
And hello, everybody. Welcome on in to the Overwatch Clash Season 6 Week 8 matchup between the Ramshackle Roosters and the Sydney Seadragons. Two, I'd say probably our top two teams in the league at the current moment in the power rankings. Ready to go at it. Finally, the match of the season. Hopefully it leads up to the hype. I'll be Booney. Join me today. It's going to be Paninii. We've got the All-Stars on the cast. Hopefully we bring the All-Stars in the game as well. Paninii, exciting game ahead of us. Two teams basically vying. I would say it could be Grand Finals preview, but the new patch could throw a wrench in things and see how the teams adapt to the new look of the game.
I think it's a little early to say that, but I do think these are two of the higher teams. I think this should be a really good game. The Roosters still have not lost a game going into this match. The Seadragons have looked super strong. They had some really good wins recently, so trying to bring that momentum into this week. The Roosters, like I said, have kind of been riding that momentum all season, so one of the teams has to lose today. I'm excited to see who wins, who loses. Right now, the Pred panel slightly favoring the Seadragons 4-3, but that just shows how close the match today is going to be.
And it's a very close game, and the thing we got to keep our eye on, of course, is the new patch. But a lot of people have been saying that's not going to change the meta all that much, because we're not seeing any really big recent nerfs, potentially or Ramatra, like a neutral change, potentially even a buff against certain characters. But, I mean, the big one I want to see is how it will affect Juno. I know that Juno's ult was not touched, but of course she had, her range decrease as well as her primary healing kind of decrease. See, kind of those numbers really make a big difference in the look of the meta. But both these teams look very solid on a lot of different compositions as well. So it's kind of a big turning point for them to see potentially a new look from them going forward into the rest of the season. But I know both these teams good on their Risa, on their Ramatra look, but both can also whip out a sick dive. So I don't think either of these teams really had a big disadvantage because of this patch. But I just want to hear your initial thoughts on what we're going to see potentially changed here.
Yeah, I'm a little curious because I could see either of these teams trying to either go off of what was hard meta last patch or trying to see if maybe they switch something up here. The Seadragons, I know, especially early in the Juno Brig meta, they really wanted to force that Lucio Moira. I know Silvertals really likes playing the Moira. So maybe seeing that Juno nerf, maybe Silvertals wants to play a little bit more Moira here. The Seadragons might go for that look. On the other side, we did see Ramatra have that adjustment there. I don't know if it necessarily was a buff or a nerf, because it does kind of break the shields a little bit better, but I still think Orisa is going to be just as strong into Ramatra. I don't know which one either of these teams will play, because I think both of their teams have shown the Orisa and the Ramatra. So I'm personally predicting the big difference here is going to be if they mirror the Juno Moira or Juno Brig, or if they try to whip out a Lucio Moira. Maybe try to switch something up here.
And it looks like we're finally getting all our players in the lobby. Hopefully we're jumping into our first map, which is, of course, going to be Lijiang Tower, which one of those interesting kind of control points where you can see every single type of composition played. You can see the brawl, you can see the dive, even a spam look if you're careful. But it should be interesting to see how these teams have adapted. Of course, no real scrim time for either of these teams on the new patch. But I think both these teams have shown a great deal of flexibility, and that could be a huge advantage for them going in. And of course, I do need to mention that Casey Dunn wasn't able to finally show up today. There was some speculation that he might not be present, and that would have been very devastating to not have both these teams at full strength for this game. But it looks like Casey Dunn has found a time in his day to make way for Aurora and come in for his Ramshackle Roosters, trying to keep that undefeated season alive. And I think, honestly, the people I want to point out here in this game, of course, the tanks probably just going to stick that Ramatra to that Orisa, both looking very solid so far this season. I think, honestly, the biggest difference maker could be the DPS. You look at the Roosters versus Seadragons, you have the Roosters, who have two very high DPS players in Pneumonia and Casey Dunn, going up against the Seadragons, who have two off-rolling players in Sonicronk and Corey on that role, and that could honestly be a huge difference maker. I mean, it's going to basically be up to Oliver and Silvertals on the support to try to make up the difference against Tukabuk and EJ, but both these players are very solid as well. So I think the DPS match is going to be a huge one to look for here, Paninii.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the big thing with the Seadragons is they, I guess relative to the Roosters especially, their DPS line is a little bit lower relative to the rest of the team, but they do have a really solid support line. Silvertals and Ari are very good at their respective main support and flex support. Silvertals especially is just able, I feel like every single time I watch him, he's just able to stay alive so long, build his ult so quickly. I think that's really what I'm looking at for the Seadragons, is Silvertals try to build those ults really quickly, especially if he's on that Juno. But yeah, on the Roosters, I do think their DPS line is really good, but I'm really looking at Win. Win has been kind of the the dark horse going into this season. Really came out of nowhere. On the sheet, calced at 3K and has been performing well higher than that. He's been kind of crazy in their matches. Melon is a very capable tank on the other side too, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Melon kind of match that too. But yeah, I think they overall I do think they actually are pretty balanced. Like Seadragons, at least in terms of SR, is a little bit lower, but I do think he's a pretty big value pick for his SR too. So I don't think there's that much of a DPS differential between these two teams. I just realized this. I don't know why it took me so long. Seadragons versus EJ. This is their first match of the season so far. Might be their only one, but they're very close. Played on a lot of teams together, have a lot of synergy, so excited to see them go at each other. I'm sure there's a lot of regardless of the outcome, they're both gonna have a lot of fun this match.
And we are finally going in. Everybody is present. Looks like we do have the wrong records, so I'll go ahead and get that quickly updated. But it's going to be control center for our first point of Lijiang Tower, and probably a very standard brawl look for both the teams coming out on this map. And it looks like we're going to be seeing the difference between the Orisa and the Ramatra here. See how the change will affect them. I mean, Ramatra's not going to get affected at all by the Orisa change with the spawn punches, but so that's basically on that neutral game. We have seen Orisa, of course, become more prominent in the meta, but on points like this especially, this is where Pneumonia on the Mei can shine. Pneumonia has looked very good in the Mei so far this season, hitting a lot of right clicks on the heads with the icicles.
Corey going the Junkrat, really interesting here. Maybe just doing a little bit more frontline damage, trying to break these walls from Pneumonia here.
Holy Melon gets stuck in a corner, takes 2 headshot kills from Pneumonia. Does have the form though, stay nice and alive, a nice jab and spin. Takes the Nemesis form, Ramatra out of the fight for now. But both teams are playing pretty slow right now, but you don't get Casey done too much charge. With the new Sojourn changes here, can hold on that charge for a lot longer. And Casey Dunn has been very lethal on the hit scan so far this season, but when playing a little too aggressive, they're forced to use the Fortifies. Melon forced them back with that Nemesis form. Right now, both teams, again, just poking and prodding. Casey Dunn and EJ falling very low. Pneumonia's wall not going to block up the damage here from Corey. A point will flip here for Ramshackle early, but still no picks from either side. Both these teams just taking their sweet time, doing to anything, and it looks like White Room Control will finally be taken by the Roosters, and Melon's in a rough position here. Will finally go down. A first kill is found. Ori goes in, tries to help the Ramatra out, and it looks like the retreat cycle has finally been set here for the Seadragons. It's about a free 20% or so for the Roosters coming up.
Yeah, a lot of this matchup here is dictating which tank is going to be able to walk in first. Both of their cooldowns are really good at kind of engaging and staying alive in that fight, but once those cooldowns are up, you kind of have to back up. So we saw kind of that back and forth between who's walking and who's going out. Ultimately, Wind got his cooldown right before Melon's Nemesis form ran out, so he was able to kind of take advantage of that and really open up that fight.
We do have the Orbital Ray and K-Sidon with that overclock, but Sonic Romp will be the first to fall here. Already pops that rally as Old Silver tells with the Orbital Ray. Both support almost for Seadragons, but nothing caught of it. And Corey gets Javelin in a corner in case it falls up with a headshot from White Room. And almost a disastrous fight there, using both these port ultimates for just the Orbital Ray and the Overclock. EJ will have a huge advantage here with the rally coming up.
Yeah, that's brutal, using both those support ults and losing the fight. EJ does have that rally, but also Pneumonia has that Blizzard. This point is still ticking up here for the Roosters, going in at 70%, so this could get out of hand very quickly for the Seadragons. I really want to see them go aggressive and try to ult first here, maybe with this tire from Corey.
Oh, a nice wall, though, from Pneumonia. Well, I say 2 members. They do break it almost instantly here with the help of Corey's spam with the grenades. And right now, very split approach for Seadragons. Some down main, some going through White Room. Melon finally approaches forward here with Nemesis form. Gonna get pushed back with a Javelin spin. And Corey down! Can't use the tire in time! Down that tire, it's a huge advantage here right now for the Roosters. They're gonna go in heavily. A nice wall will ice it over onto Melon. Has the Annihilation, though. Sonic around with the high end, trying to keep the team alive, but can't find anything through White Room and gets taken out by Casey Dunn. And with the kills hot and heavy right now for the Roosters. I don't know if the Seadragons got a single kill that entire point there. A great look so far from the Roosters, proving once again why they're #1 in our power rankings.
Yeah, I do think that a lot of what the Seadragons are trying to run just kind of isn't really optimal into the comp that the Roosters are playing. That Junkrat cast especially, like, you do a lot of frontline damage, sure, but the Orisa is just built to absorb so much damage, and ultimately the Roosters are able to just get so much value with that Mei, get the value with the wall. I think that's really been the big difference maker, is just the comp difference here. We do see Sonic Ronic showing this Ashe here. That would make sense to kind of swap it up a little bit, maybe to play a little bit slower, not try to play into those walls. I could see that being really good here, especially on Gardens where it's a lot more wide open.
There you go, 7 on 7. I'm not sure why I didn't update it originally, but finally back here. Corey over onto the Pharah. We'll try to put some more pressure potentially on this Mei. Probably just trying to say, Pneumonia, you gotta swap off this Mei against the Pharah. Not gonna get too much work done here. Sonrock as well onto the Ashe. But another nice wall. Melon can't use the form in time. Gets taken down in his shield, but the boot from Corey is a huge one. Gets both DPS. With one boop, now has control over onto this Mega side. Wind forced retreat for now. Took Book 1 HP. This could be the ghost sign for Sydney. As Corey pelting in the rockets in the back line here. Speedering out from both sides. Aurora is going to get punished for going a little too aggressive without their tank. And now Corey on the point. Trying to put pressure, but a nice javelin from Wind hits him midair. Melon has turned over onto the Orisa. On point. Is very hot and heavy with the armor. Has javelin, not going to bind them, but Wind Force Retreat has to use both the cooldowns. Wall not going to land from Pneumonia. Keystone swaps over onto the Widowmaker. Tookipuk flying low, but will survive. But finally, the Roosters are sent packing as we got a bit of advantage for Seadragons over on towards this point. A nice burn comes out. Corey close to this barrage, but another big wall comes out. It's 2 members, but they have the javelin spin to stay alive. Corey, half HP, has his barrage ready to go basically in one shot, but the javelin over off the point. And Tookipuk as well, using the overrate for good measure. And that will be the point flipping once again for the Roosters. About 25% for the Seadragons will be built.
I do really like those swaps coming out for the Seadragons there. Looking to play a little bit slower, play that poke, look for their angles with the Pharah and with the Ashe. The Orisa swap, I think, is a little bit better at doing that poke damage.
Oh, another boop! Another boop from Corey!
That's massive. Getting so much value there with these boops. The good thing for the Seadragons, too, is not only did they force out that Juno ult, but it looks like they are going to win this next fight here.
Yeah, use the barrage to clean up that Mei. Wind flung over onto the point. Now it's just supports for the Roosters, trying to get as much percentage as possible they can here. EJ cannot block that many directions at once. And will go down, and Corey once again coming up huge for his team.
Yeah, this Juno ult, like I said before, it is so good to have this advantage here. But Pneumonia does have this Blizzard. I'm sure he's going to look to try to Blizzard, try to deny that space inside the Juno ult. That's been kind of a standard play coming out. Just kind of deny that Juno ult, to deny that damage, and hide it a little bit easier. I'm sure that's what they're going to look for here.
Oh, just the neutral shot there on Asant Ronic. Takes that Bob out of the equation. Now Casey Dunn instead of way behind enemy lines. Riley's going to be exchanged here. Ari, though, forced back towards this bridge. Has to try to come back in, help the team. Casey Dunn very low on this point. The Terror Surges are exchanged for both teams, but Wind will fall as Corey pelts down the Orisa as she stands still. A lot of critical members right now for the Roosters. Tookipuk cannot keep him alive. Ari still swinging. EJ will come back with the revenge. Pneumonia throwing the Blizzard on the point. It's just very scrappy, but Melon is full HP and has the cooldowns ready to go to get these final kills. And just a nice drawn-out fight for them to get that potential last fight territory.
That's brutal for the Roosters, too, because that entire time the Seadragons had that point control. So this very well could be last fight if the Seadragons are able to win this. Sonic Ronic has the ball, but other than that, a pretty empty ult bank here, so slight advantage in favor of the Seadragons here.
Yeah, Wind looking to come in right now through this White Rune. Pneumonia there to meet him. Right now, with Casey Dunn trying to his long angle right towards the spawn, but playing in the point basically is the Seadragons. Sunrock cannot fall here before using the Bob. Bob will eventually get there, but it's not on point. So now Melon has to be the anchor here. Bob in a tough position. Can't put down too much pressure. Corey is close, though, to this barrage and gets the kill on the EJ, but the javelin mid-air shuts that down. Turnable here now for the Roosters as Pneumonia is there to do the speed ring as well as the fortify for the engage here. A lot of ultimate pop right now, but Tookipuk might try with the orbital ray. Keep the team nice and healthy. Silver Talon just trying to get out with that speed ring, but not going to do it as now Melon will just sadly fall and disintegrate over on this point, but a nice fight there for the City Seadragons as they're going to come back in here with barrage and with an orbital ray close to their own.
Yeah, like I said before, that Juno ult's so big. Pneumonia just swapping onto the Echo here. Now doesn't have that Blizzard to kind of shut that down. So it should be a pretty good ult here when Silver Talons is able to get it. Only 35% when that point flips, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the Seadragons get about 2 more fights here. So that the ults could rack up for them really quickly, especially getting 2 ults out for the Roosters.
And Keystone swapping to Cassie is not there with the team right now, making his way slowly through White Room, and EJ gets punished for that. Sunrock is going to get grenaded, but Corey comes in for the assist and now has a barrage But the jab spin from Wind, they're going to exchange somehow. Corey kills himself after the spin expires from Wind. And now Pneumonia, Luza on the duplicate very quickly here. K7 swaps to the trace, trying to get one more last touch. But Melon with the Terror Surge shuts that down. And it will just be K7 for a last second touch with a stick on the Tracer Force on the recall. It's nice from Sonic Ronk though, but K7 falling very low. And now Wind is trying to spin back towards the point. Terror Surge cannot get it in time. The boop from Ari sends them back. And now we're going 2-2. We're going to 1-1. Last point on Lijiang Tower. Much better fight back there for Seadragons.
Yeah, I really liked those comp swaps coming out for the Seadragons, especially Corey on that far was able to get so much value. I do see the Roosters trying to see if they can find an answer for it. They played Casey Dunn on that Widow, played Casey Dunn on the Cass. They also have Pneumonia on this Echo, so very interesting to see kind of what they're going to go here. Now they're running both the Ashe and the Echo here. I'm assuming they're expecting that far, try to put as much pressure onto Corey as they can. But at the end of the day, actually Pneumonia goes over to that the Mei. But yeah, at the end of the day, like if Corey is even just able to force those comp swaps and kind of just play his life and try to get as much attention off of Melon as he can, that's still all the value he needs to get here.
This is the first time we've seen Casey Dunn over on the Ashe, I believe, this match so far. Kind of been his signature hero so far this season. Yep. Corey walking around this pillar, just kind of hanging around the coastline for now, trying to get an angle. Just seems slowly going on. Sanrod takes a shot though, Melon with the headshot. A lot of damage be pelted in by Casey Dunn and Pneumonia right now, but Point Presence is currently in control of the Seadragons. Wind falling so low, got stuck over in the backline by themselves. They're going to change it over onto Silver Towels and the DPS for the Roosters, trying to bring it back for the team. Wall not going to isolate anybody, but Sonic Rock forced to use that coach gun to try to get a kill. We'll find EJ, and now Ori comes over. This is very scrappy back and forth. The fair over on towards the point here. Patukapuk and Casey Dunn looks like they will find do it. Corey is alone over on the coastline. And Mike is trying to get out here. Yes, Tukapuk was going to find that shot. And despite the early pick, Roosters clutch up.
Yeah, the Roosters are just kind of super crazy because they have the kind of two-headed monster of Wind and Casey Dunn. Wind was trying to, I could see what he was cooking. He was trying to get some boot kills off the map, got a little bit too aggressive and got caught out for it. But at the end of the day, Casey Dunn just staying alive is able to get so many kills there. So ultimately, you need to shut down Wind and you need to shut down Casey Dunn, which is why the Roosters have been doing so good, is just pick your poison between the two of them.
They're going to use that wall there. It does force out Fortify, though. So now this Blizzard from Pneumonia could be a huge lock. Now, gets Ajax by Sonic Rock. Takes a shot. Takes me out of the fight. And what a clutch play from the captain. Shutting that down. Now both supports gone. It's just Wind on point. Trying to live as long as possibly can. But not long for this world. And a great play from Sonic Rock to shut down that Blizzard.
Yeah, getting that Blizzard out is huge. Also, EJ is still 50% away from his rally here, so almost 5 ults coming out for the Seadragons. They can play really aggressive here and just try to cycle these ults if they wanted to.
And now Corey has control of this choke as well. He's able to pelt down the rockets and spamming that damage. Potentially followed from the Sonic Rock and Dynamite here as well. A lot of ults for both these sides right now. Melon is very aggressively in the front line. The wall will isolate them, but they're going to come back in. A lot of ults ready to go. Corey flying above him with his barrage. Can't find anybody. Will get Pneumonia, so it's an exchange. 1 for 1. Wins Terror Surge not getting too much either, but an extra Fortify for him over on the point. Bob is exchanged over into that little patio area. Wind trying to push Sonic Rock off the point, get a bit of revenge here. And now EJ was 50% to the rally and already has it. As the fight will finally stabilize and slow down, Roosters will flip, but they had to use 4 ults to do it.
Yeah, unfortunately, that rally came out at the very end from EJ. I don't know if they really needed that. So going to this next fight, they're not really going to have anything here. Pneumonia might be able to build his Blizzard mid-fight, but other than that, not a whole lot. But the good news for them is the Seadragons really only have this ult from Melon. Kind of good in these scrappy fights, but kind of opening it up. Not a whole lot of value you can get from that Terror Surge here.
A nice wall will isolate 3 members here. For the Seadragons, they gotta stay slow and just use their cooldown to stay alive. Sonic Rock 1 HP, make that 0 as Wind finds a headshot with that cannon. Now, big advantage for the Roosters if they can stagger this fight out. Could be last fight territory. Melon still holding on to his Terror Surge, ready to walk forward here, but the wall will isolate him in towards the corner. Melon, they're trying to stay alive here with the jab spin. They have the jab of their own, goes in. EJ hits the shield in time. Terror Surge over on towards the point. EJ 1 HP and falls, but it's being exchanged out for Silver Towels. Pneumonia throwing that Blizzard. I don't know where that went. I don't believe anybody got slowed down by that one, but they were finding the kills. The Rooster over onto the point. Wind is alive. Melon down. Huge take advantage right now. It's just Ori. 1 HP has the rally though just in time, and now Corey is there. Over to Ray. Out for Tukipuk. Will keep Wind nice and healthy in the safe of this Rallying break, Ari cannot survive. The shield cannot block off that much damage, and now Silvertail is over on towards the point. Can't do too much. A nice javelin as well, force the recall. They can't get the touch here. And the Roosters will take it, but it was a scrappy affair the whole way.
Yeah, this entire map so far has just been a masterclass on how to make adjustments. Both teams making really good adjustments. Ultimately, that swap for Pneumonia onto that Mei, the entire team changing their playstyle, trying to play around point, control that space they need, and kind of force the Seadragons to walk into them. Really good adjustments from them, and overall a really good map for the Roosters there.
See Corey's double boop there. Sadly, when he's not can't. I don't know where I was going with that one, but he couldn't get the boops on the last couple points and just wasn't enough. But now coming in, we go over to our next map. What map will that be? Seadragons selection. We'll have to wait and see our size break. Do not go anywhere. Overwatch Clash continues after this.
These beats are the purest. Love it.
And welcome on back, everybody, to the Overwatch Clash Season 6 Week 8 matchup between the Ramshackle Roosters and Sydney Seadragons. Both these teams towards the top of our league and currently in power rankings. And now we kind of saw a really back and forth affair on Lijiang Tower. Going into our next map is going to be Watch Point Gibraltar. And you're talking Paninii, you really like this pick out from Sydney Seadragons for a map too.
Yeah, I want to say Season 3, I watched the Seadragons play versus the Foxians on Gibraltar, and their dives were really clean. I'm assuming that they are going to run Silvertals on the Ana. They were very coordinated with Melon on like Winston and Tanic and Sonic Ronic on like Echo and Tracer or something like that. They were really coordinated with hitting those nades and just getting that follow-up. And that's just such a good game plan for this team too, because you don't have to rely on your ults, you just rely on those nades, and Silvertals I would say he's probably one of the best flex supports in the league. I don't know if I'd probably say he's one of the best honors in the league too. So being able to just kind of rely on him to get those consistent anti-nades to set up those fights was a really good win condition for them. It also, I think, is really good too because depending on who they're trying to kind of lock down here, I could see them really trying to catch out some individual players, try to go around Wind and try to go for that backline a little bit more. Allegro did just come in alongside Paninii, so I'm really curious to see what he's going to play here. He is showing the Mei right now. So they're running kind of a similar comp they did the last map. They do have Wind on D.Va instead of on the Orisa. I am really curious. Both teams are actually running the Mei. I feel like Watchpoint Gibraltar is not really one that you kind of expect that Mei look.
I doubt that's actually what they're gonna run on the attackers here, because they're kind of trying to
Allegro's
spawn with the
running it,
Reinhardt.
Yeah.
The fact
see
that
that.
the fact that you bring out Pneumonia and you bring in Allegro to play Mei and Watchpoint Gibraltar, when I thought we'd see maybe the Sombra, which is kind of what Allegro's
I
kind
thought
of
maybe the Widow even.
Just anything but Mei really was kind of what I had up my sleeve here, up my bingo card. But they're gonna be playing the Mei here, and they're gonna be playing pretty up close here.
Oh, nice TP, huge.
Went a whole solid 2 feet there from Sunrock. Hopefully that EJ took notes for
There
that
we
one
go.
for the players of the week.
There it is. So yeah, kind of exactly what I expected from the Seadragons. So like, they're gonna look to see if Silvertals can hit these nades and try to follow up with their DPS and with Melon.
Car will just kind of slowly start moving here, but we do have Wind and Chancellor kind of just hanging around here, holding this corner, but forced retreat for now. I mean, right now they're just playing the cart game, trying to get some point off, or trying to take some minutes off, as Case Dunn, he's pelting in the damage with the Dynamites as well. Not a lot of rotation really happening on this high ground. Wind finally up there to meet them. Melon falling extremely low. Had used his bubble, or had used their bubble. And now not having that cooldown, that can't play very quickly. Tampy down. Another Dynamite here from Casey Dunn over in this small little room. The Seadragons kind of just not doing too much right now. Melon dives on in, but they can't really follow Casey Dunn for that dive. And once again, just a very slow, methodical play from Roosters. Wind once again goes up on this high ground, and just no cart progress whatsoever.
Big nade comes in, hits 2.
Melon decides to go in. They finally find Tookie Poke, so a good start here. Melon takes a headshot, but is safe in their bubble. And there we go. Seeing Seadragons finally open things up. The slow push finally coming through, avoiding Casey Dunn's Dynamite for once. And now they're going to get staggered on Casey Dunn here, as well as Sonic and Melon are there for the backup. And now the cart finally pushed under this car wash area, and they also building for both teams here. Chancellor off the Mei over on towards this Reaper. Puts more pressure on the Winston.
Makes sense. Like I said, though, that's kind of exactly what the game plan for the Seadragons is. Just try to hit those nades and just have that follow-up. The problem is it was just taking so long for Silvertals to get set up there. So that's why it was taking them so long to kind of walk in there.
Oh, nice nade. We'll find over onto Chancellor. Forced the Reaper away. Sent Chancellor is Allegro. The sleep not going to land, but we have Tookie Pook re-engaging with his orbital raid, trying to push the team back. Tankby will duplicate over on towards this D.Va, but Melon is going to receive this nano and go deep in this backlaner. EJ in a tough position. Will fall both supports now for the Roosters. Taken out of this fight. Wind just trying to fly back in towards the server room. Trying to get some done play in the line side of the Bob. Bomb comes over on towards this point. Wind does not get the remake in time though. Melon with the Primal will jump on in, and now Casey Dunn forced retreats. And now Roosters will concede point A. That's some nicely done ultimates right now from the Seadragons. And they're getting the staggers here as well over on the support line.
Yeah, good staggers there. I do also want to point out, I believe it's called Chonkla instead of Chancellor.
I like Chancellor. Too bad.
But yeah, like what we've seen kind of both fights that the Roosters were able to win. Killing Tookie Pook early is huge. Just the big heals you're losing from that Juno really opens up that fight. So I'm sure that's what they're trying to look for. It looks like that Tookie Pook is trying to play a little bit more close to his brig just to kind of break up that dive here too.
Sunrock has his pulse bomb though. Could be a big game changer if he can land it on potentially a Chonkla. I'll say it correctly. I'm done having fun saying my slang, but now coming in. The bubble from Melon is forced early here, but they go very quickly. Pulse bomb as well. Only finds Wind's defense matrix. Nice plays from the D.Va, finding 2 kills as well as the pulse bomb eats. Wind coming up crazy. This fight on this D.Va now. The high ground control once again for the Rooster shuttle is a tough thing to break on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Especially going into a Brigitte, into a D.Va, into a Cassidy. I do not envy them right now.
the setup that the Seadragons had right there, going into that mega room, kind of flipping the map, worked out really well. The Roosters are able to kind of like flip the map, kind of play for that point, make sure the point doesn't go at all. The Seadragons kind of wanted to go a little bit too early, didn't quite have that setup there, so ultimately got punished, but they did get that rally out, so that is still pretty good for them.
Speed ring out for Tukipuk to try to stave off the aggression of the Seadragons for now. Looks like we'll do just that, but Chankla has Death Blossom over on towards this point. See if they decide to pop this one. Tampy trying to get the meltdown over onto Wind's mech, but Wind will survive. Now Sanrong just trying to survive on this point as a Tracer. Fort in shoulder control, but just the DPS are just battling on point, not allowing any pressure coming through. Melon is very low. Forced to use their bubble, but Casey Dunn opens things up. Tukipuk wins over rate on the point, but 3 quick kills for the Seadragons. As Tukipuk's over rate cannot keep it alive for much longer. Chocolate opts to hold on to this Death Blossom. Wind as well over on towards this point. We'll just try to stagger out, holds on to the bomb. And that probably will be point B going the way of Seadragons here as well. They might try to go for one last good touch here. They are trying to TP in cooldowns.
They might be able to touch it. I don't know if they'll be able to buy enough time for Wind to get there. So yeah, they are going to have to back up here. But yeah, that was a kind of expensive fight using the Nano and using that dupe. It looks like the stagger kills are coming in. Wind is...
Use the bomb?
I was going to say, they used 2 ults for 1, but now it's 2 for 2. Getting that bomb out of Wind. Tukipuk did use that...
Silver Tiles!
Silver with 2. Tukipuk used the Orbital Ray last fight, which was a little bit which was too little too late, not able to quite take that fight back into their favor after the 2 picks came out from the Seadragons. It looks like it is going to keep rolling. There are both DPS ults built here, so I'm sure they're going to try to look for something to open up here, but Melon does have this Primal. Try to get a little bit of space off that.
The nade on Tukipuk. Super Tiles is playing American Sniper on his high ground. Cannot be touched. And now both supports are out of this fight. Kason trying to bring it back here. Already has the rally to stave off this dive, but here comes the Death Blossom from Chunkla. In fact, Super Tiles shuts that one down too. The support line for the Seadragons is immovable on this high ground right now. Wind just trying to get back to this point to get a last second contesters. Will get healed. Kason makes desperate stuff on the Widow, but the pulse off of Sonic. Not gonna let EJ has the shield drop just in time. And now here comes the reinforcements. It's 5-on-5 on the point. Melon has this nano boost. Already taken down. It's gonna be exchanged over on the Brigades. Both Brigs down. Chocolate using that Wraith over on towards the player. Sunrock is playing Bouncer in the spawn room right now. And coming out on top, Melon falling very low with Silver Tails. Has the healing down. Titanic B takes the dome off Chonkla. The Reaper shut down. No bomb this time for Wind. And this will be a speed run on Gibraltar. EJ has the rally, just last second contesting, but gets moved off and gets taken down with the melee kill. Tukipuk flies on in, but sent back to Mars. It only makes sense. It's a shuttle, ladies and gentlemen, on watch point C. And that will be a minute 20 in the bank for City Seadragons.
The Seadragons look so good right there. Basically understood their win condition perfectly. Hitting those nades, kind of setting up those kills, especially getting Tukipuk early is just so hard to win for the Roosters. I did see the Roosters late trying to kind of counter that aggression, put all their resources into trying to kill Silver Talls, but like I kind of said going into this, it's just so hard to kill Silver Talls. He is so good at positioning and just can stay alive, especially with Ari's Brig just right on top of him, keeping him nice and healthy there. So we'll see if there are any swaps coming out, any sort of maybe compositional changes that the Roosters try to pull here, but a minute 20 seconds on Watch Point Gibraltar is a massive time bank, so Seadragons have got to be super happy with that.
And we have an official stream sniper in the chat. Tukipuk is in chat typing. Admins, get on this, man. All fun, but what's interesting to me is how well Melon is in fact balancing their life and as well as their aggression on this Winston, playing into a Diva, playing into a Reaper, into a Brigitte. You can basically say that's a hard counter comp for the Winston, but Melon's still making it work and pairing up well with Sonic Ronic and Silver Tiles, of course, on the Ana, the MVP so far of this map, hitting some timely nades, as well as the nanos on the Melon, keeping that Winston alive and brawling in the fight. So a great look so far. Of course, Silver Tiles doing the spin. We will give them the POV. We will give them, was this worth $40? This 5 seconds of fame on the stream channel? I certainly hope so. It was Silver Tiles going for a sleep out of spawn, but
yeah, they understand their win condition like perfectly, and they're not playing take any poke. So very coordinated play here for the Seadragons. Casey down on this Widow. He did swap late onto the Widow. Nope, never mind. EJ's on the Kiri, actually. So that's, I think it's a pretty good swap coming out.
Oh,
looking
big
a little bit early.
3-man anti from Silvertails in the back. Melon does fall pretty low. The cart kind of moves for free under this little underpass here. It's a good start for the Roosters on this attack, but right now, positioning on the high ground is in favor of the Seadragons as they look for this drop. Wind flies up on the high ground, but another 2-man anti from Silvertails, and the kill's hot and heavy for Sydney. Nothing in response for the Roosters, and they were going to get a hard second here from Wind. Actually, Melon showing some mercy on the D.Va, sends it back to spawn for very little time bank, but a good start for the defense.
This entire map reminds me of that Breaking Bad meme where he just goes, he can't keep getting away with this, and it's just Silvertails hitting like 2-man antis on the backline. If he keeps hitting these and there's no like shutdown, it's going to be tough here for the Roosters. Wind is probably going to try to look a little bit more to try to eat these. I feel like just eating those nades, trying to shut that down, could really open it up for them.
Yeah, I mean, you have a Kiriko, or you have a D.Va, have a Kiriko, and still the Nantes are getting the biggest values possible on the map here. Melon falling low, force retreat, but looking heal right back. Silvertails has a nano for the recontest. Tampy opts into duplicating over on towards the Kiriko, try to build up a free Kitsune rush. But Melon, with that nano, goes deep and finding both supports. And yeah, another clean fight for Sydney Seadragons as the anti comes in that little room, not quite sure if the land now. Wind can get staggered, trying to run towards that cart, but very rough for the baby right now as Wind is trying to pistol whip anybody within their sights. But
he's gonna get staggered again.
Loses that mech immediately. And the Seadragons say, we'll take a free 650 HP ult charge, thank you very much.
Oh, but Silvertails gets taken down.
There's a 1-for-1, and I mean, Wind has a quicker spawn here, so it could be a bit of hubris from the Seadragons right now. Positioning is being kind of pushed back right now, forced back on the blue box. They have support almost ready to go. Sonic, though, looking, poking, prodding for this pulse bomb. But Pookiepook's just that down. Ticketbook within their range. And this is a disastrous turn of events right now. Ticketbook re-engages here. A lot of ults being dumped into point A. They want this fight. I'm not sure if all these are needed. And the Roosters might just overinvested there, but they're getting staggers. I mean, you got ours rally, but a great exchange of ultimates, 3-for-1 for the Seadragons for point C or point B.
If you really wanted to with the Curie Rush and that Juno Orbital Ray, you can just stagger those, just use them every other fight, and still use those as win conditions. So stacking them on top of each other is really rough there. You're not going to have either going into this next fight here. But ultimately, they did break through. If I'm the Seadragons, though, like, that's still a fight I'm okay losing, because, again, you cap with 1 minute and 20 seconds. This is all about time. Just try to burn off as much time as you can going into third.
Another anti from Silvertails going to land over onto Wind, but Wind will get healed up on that one. The pulse bomb going to land, not going to find anything but pay dirt, but Silvertails, in fact, finds the first kill over onto EJ. The cart has moved basically towards the end of B, but the fight victor will be the Seadragons here. Unless Wind and Chonkle have a miracle. They use the bomb, they invest heavily here, try and bring it back, but Chonkle goes in now before they can use the Duck Blossom. And now is again just Wind getting staggered over on towards this point. Nowhere to bounce off of, nowhere to jump. Trying to pistol whip Ari. Hits him with a mace to the face. And once again, Seadragon stabilize, and no ult was used from them except for the pulse bomb.
Yeah, a little bit more cart progress than I probably would have liked if I was the Seadragons. But now they get to kind of play this defense, play this spaceship here. It's so hard to break through this defense here. I've seen a lot of teams just consistently holding this entire thing. And it basically just lets Silvertails get a free nade going through any door he wants to.
Casey does well, swapping over on the Windmaker. Did find some body shots over onto Ari, but Ari gets healed right back up by Silvertails. Silvertails, a big anti over onto Casey Dunn to follow up the dive from Melon and Sonic Ronic. And down Casey Dunn, down your Widow. They know you're all stuck in a small little room. Melon has Primal should they decide to invest it here. Looks like we'll go aggressive on this one. Big anti as well on the Wind once again. And now both supports down. It's just Wind getting staggered on this D.Va once more. There's just, it's so rough getting staggered, especially on point B as well. There's nowhere to jump off of, and now a couple of free seconds earned for Seadragons in the defense.
Yeah, they are starting to get these support ults back up again, especially this Juno ult is going to be the big one. EJ, only 40% to his rally, but that does build really quickly, especially when you're able to just kind of farm that heals off that Winston diving on you. But on the other side, 4 ults for the Seadragons. They have been really good at cycling these ults. I think they're probably going to look to use this nano here on the Melon.
A 5-man anti! Sadly, Melon wasn't quite there in time to follow that one up, but a great start to the fight. Sleep not going to find anything but a box, and now Wind can go in aggressively with this. Melon with the nano in the back on Ari, popping that rally as well as to keep Silvertails nice and healthy through this dive. And now Chonka just gets melted over on towards the point with the nano Tesla cannon. They do force out the duplicate from Tanic B, but still a great fight here for Seadragons as they're last right territory on the defense.
Yeah, Duplicate's a little rough to get out there because now you go from a huge ult advantage into probably 3 ults here for the Roosters, so they could really open this up with these ults. But, I mean, like I said, too, the time is just so in favor of the Seadragons here, so even if you overinvest, just winning these fights is all you care about.
Silvertails finally gets taken down. The alpha target is identified. Tampy will exchange with the kill over onto Casey Dunn, but pays for it with their own life. And now Aurora in tough position in space of 1v1ing a diva. Not where many Brigades want to be. Melon trying to contest for as long as that possibly came up. Will get melted on that bow by Chankla. Recall force was on rocking. Will fall down. Silvertails gets one last big ante for the road. Will get sent back to spawn. And now Pointy finally opens up, but it's going to be very tough here. Less than 2 minutes for the Roosters to finish this map. Diva's almost coming up, though.
They will have a less time bank regardless. But the good thing for the Roosters here is they did only use that orbital ray. That's the only ult they use going into that. And the ults are still pretty far away. Technically finds Casey Dunn early there.
Not a good start for the Roosters as Seadragons continues to poke and prod over on towards this cart. Does not want to get past this corner. Millen has Primal, so they go pretty deep here. Go very aggressive. Maybe force out EJ's rally for the last fight. Chankle will continue to push the cart forward, but force Wraith away. There's still too much pressure from Silvertails and Tampy on this high ground. It's very slow approach here from both teams. The win finally with that speed ring goes in, but a nice boop!
Kill is still there. Casey Dunn finds the kill there.
And yeah, despite the nice whip shot from Aurora shutting down the Death Blossom, Melon opting to use in this Primal Rage does force out the rally and gets the kill on EJ regardless. But the picks are heavily in favor right now of the Roosters as they continue to push this cart forward right now. Looks like Melon Sonic taken down too.
That's rough.
And now with no Primal, the stall is going to be a lot worse here for the Seadragons. Melon jumps in with his bubble, trying to stay alive. They are bubble dancing around this Reaper. But Casey Dunn has a duplicate over on the Ana now. Silvertails down, big ante onto Ari and Spawn. The bomb thrown in the back line. The bomb, Pulse Bomb will take down the duplicate, but now Tampy will fall. And potentially a bit of over-aggression from Melon with the Prime Rage. Takes away the stall, and now Sonic will try to do anything he possibly can. The desperation, Orisa stall swap. Not gonna get there in time for Melon. Silvertails will get one last sleep, one last stat pad, 2-man ante, but we're going to extra innings here.
Yeah, after watching that attack from the Seadragons, it kind of got momentum kind of swung on in favor of the Roosters. Ultimately, especially late on third point there, started kind of that coordination we saw really early, started kind of falling apart. Really unfortunate that both their supports were super close to their ults. They would have been able to stall that out a good amount of time, but not quite able to build it in time. That early kill onto Sonic really opened that up. The staggers just coming out for the Roosters to kind of steamroll that third point. So now overtime here. 1 minute time advantage is somewhat meaningful, but
it is one point Gibraltar though, which is
that's true.
Very
it's like
heavily defendable map.
I would not be surprised to see both teams full hold here. It did take both teams a while to get through first point too on their first attack. So ultimately, like I think this really is going to come down to if the Seadragons are able to kind of like we saw at the beginning, get that TP out, get Silvertails on that high ground. Could look to open it up early on their attack, but if it goes anyway, the way the first one did, I don't know if they'll be able to kind of set up that quickly.
Thank you, Logos, for the information. We hopefully had a good ice cream bar in preparation for your next May map. 2-minute ante out of spawn, but what that does is now it gives Win this kind of go button to go on your Ana and try to find him, force him away. With no ante shutting down Melon, this game melted in the side room, but is feeding Silvertails a pretty nice amount of nano charge. Casey Dunn lands over some stickies over onto Ari's shield. The ante on both supports on the Roosters, and now here comes the aggression from Seadragons trying to capitalize on that. Silvertails might have done it once again. Stuck in the small little room is going to be the Rooster. Casey Dunn swaps onto the wood potential for a miracle pick, but another 2-man ante from Silvertails on this Ana. Controls the high ground, controls this map. And that will be the Seadragons send them back to spawn. Probably one more desperation touch for the Roosters, but again, it's going to be complete desperation.
Yeah, that was such a clean stagger too. Is they killed two, but they kind of let the rest of the Seadragons exist there.
Did they get the
I don't
touch
even
there?
know
Yes,
if
EJ did get the
do
touch.
that.
But Silver Talons opens up with a kill on the Lucia. Now Win losing it on that mech. No chance for the Roosters to get any further on this point. And 38 meters is all they're going to have for 2.5 minutes on the attack of Seadragons, looking pristine and primed to send us to a tied series.
Yeah, with 1 minute, you can get about 2 fights in. We did see, like I was starting to say, that first fight kind of got Wind and, I think it was Wind and the DPS a little bit split on that Mega Room. They kind of staggered out a little bit late, so had to kind of scramble to get that last touch in. But that being said, like we kind of saw on that first defense from the Seadragons, they let that point roll a little bit more, opted not to contest it and just try to win the fight. Here they go a lot more aggressive on the back of that big anti-nade from Silvertalls, and able to get a really good hold here even before this the car wash even starts. So it's gonna be a tall order, 2 minutes 15 seconds.
Look at this!
The Roosters,
Look at this comp from the defense. They're saying, "All right, we'll fight you at the corner if you can get past us."
Yeah,
But
they might actually do a spawn hold here. I believe, I don't think they've fixed this yet. I believe there is a contest you can do from that Mega Room on the coast side. So I'm guessing they're going to stack over there with the Orisa the Bastion, have the Orisa kind of tap on the point there, and just try to force someone to break that open. But this is like basically the exact comp you want to be throwing anti-nades into. So they're all going to be stacked on top of each other in this tiny room. If Ari gets if Silvertalls gets a big nade here, could really break apart this defense.
Sadly, they were also just looking out the window the entire time and saw exactly where they are, so they know they're in there. And now they swap from Tabby over on the far, is pelting in the damage in that small little room. Makes it pretty tough for the contenders coming through. Millen jumps on in, lays down their bubble. Antony not going to land maybe the first one this entire series that Silvertalls hasn't hit. But yeah, Wind going down right, that's probably all she wrote. As sadly, the Watch Pointer brought through window claims another victim. And they
it's really good if it works, but it's really bad if it doesn't work.
and
Ultimately, like I said, it's so hard to defend that. So I kind of like the I'm trying to think of a good word. The gusto of going for that. But unfortunately for the Roosters, it doesn't quite work the way they want it to, and the Seadragons even up the series at 1 apiece.
Yeah, now we got ourselves an even series, and we've now seen where both teams want to take this game, right? We've seen the brawl look from the Roosters want to stick to their bread and butter, and the Seadragons want to take us to a dive look, get Silvertalls on this Ana. But now we'll have to see where we go for our next map. Gibraltar probably the most favorable dive map in the map tool right now, so it could be a big, chess piece already played by Sydney early in the series. But where we go for map 3, we'll have to see on our size break. Do not go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Overwatch Clash continues after this. And welcome on back, everybody, to the Overwatch Clash Season 6 Week 8 matchup between the Ramshackle Roosters and the City Seadragons. Seadragons coming in and taking a hard-fought Gibraltar over towards the map 2, so now we're tied 1-1. And, I mean, both these maps so far, Paninii, have been very close. Honestly, a razor-thin margin between both their wins. And now going into King's Row, a pick up Ramshackle Roosters, I don't expect anything to change in that regard. Especially if we're seeing Pneumonia come in and now Tank Beast. We're going to have a May on May off, and honestly, both these teams on Lijiang Tower look pretty good on the brawl look, so I'm expecting another close nail-biter map here.
Yeah, I think this is going to look a lot closer to Lijiang, where they are going to run that Orisa. I do think Melon and the Seadragons are probably going to counter with their own Orisa. I think they're probably going to run something similar, especially now that you have Tanic BN. I think they're probably going to play that May kind of to counter it too. I also wouldn't be surprised to see them maybe run something similar to what they ran last map. Especially if that Orisa's not working right away, because they look really clean on that that dive, able to kind of coordinate around those Silvertall nades. But yeah, I think this is going to be pretty similar, pretty expected May, Cass, Juno, Brig, and probably Orisa. So it did look a little bit in favor of the Roosters on map 1. But they were running a different lineup. They did have Koryo in, and Koryo was playing that Pharah. So I'm really curious to see what Tanic B coming in, probably going to play that May, is going to look like here.
Do Silvertell stick the Ana? That's kind of the biggest question for me. I mean, of course, Silvertells look good on the Juno, but this Ana has been getting so much value so far this series, and the entire season, honestly.
I think Juno's just too good right now.
Yeah, Sag. I was trying to manifest it, you know, I was trying to have fun and see some big 80s once again, but yeah, going back to this Juno, and kind of just a mirror look on both sides, except for the DPS, and I doubt, you know, Ari's playing the Zen here, but I have been wrong before, but
No.
I highly doubt that the Zen will come out randomly at King's Row in a 1-1 series against a top team in the league, but...
Yeah, I did see Tanic B kind of hover that Pharah for a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised, especially if they see the Sojourn. Not really a hard hit scan to shut down that Pharah if they are staying with KC on the Sojourn. But if they do go Pharah, KC is probably going to immediately swap Cass or something like that too. So we'll see. Are they staying the Zen? Really interesting here.
So they are sticking with the Zen here. Okay. Maybe trying to melt wind with the Discord orbs.
I can see that.
It's definitely an interesting adaptation. We'll see how it kind of works out here early. Right now, it's just the Brigitte is going to be tough to push over. Especially if they notice the Zen. Casey Dunn has a high charge on this, being going for a flank angle through the hotel. Melon falling low. But Casey Dunn is way behind enemy line. Tempe takes a headshot to the dome. Forced to use that block early, and Casey Dunn falls with another one.
Yeah, Casey Dunn has been going for these really wide flanks all season. Ultimately able to get that kill at a Tanic and just kind of shut down that attack.
I mean, they're still going for it here.
No.
I mean, Melon is staying alive through all this pressure right now, but the kills are coming in. And yeah, Melon is going to get staggered. Doesn't have the fortified. Oh, nice walled up Tempe. We'll get them out alive. But again, Roosters looking very good, and the Zen has yet to... I just see the value of it right now.
Yeah, like he's getting... I see what they're going for with it, but they just really don't have a comp to kind of take advantage of that. They are still playing this May and this Orisa, which you kind of want to play a little bit brawlier, but the rest of their comp wants to play a little bit slower and try to poke out the enemy tank, especially that Orisa there, trying to get that poke in.
Yeah, we get the concept. It makes sense, but there's just really no follow-up on the Discord orbs. They just can't get on them in time. They do engage here with Swordtail using the Overwatch, but Took will have theirs for the recontest. Point Find does open up heavily in favor. But they do have the Blizzard out from Tanby. Sonironic 1 HP. K-Sun slides on and slides into the DMs of the DPS and takes them both down with the overclock. And the Blizzard from Tampy not getting too much value there. Already close to this Transcends but can't get it and gets staggered out. And now the Rooster defense once again looking stalwart.
You do get both Juno ults traded out on each side along with one of the DPS ults. But Pneumonia having this Blizzard is huge here. The only kind of saving grace I think the Seadragons do have is if Melon is somehow able to eat this. That could be big. Also, Ari does have the trance if he wants to use it here, so I could see some more ults being traded out and really setting up these the Bob and the Rally late fight here to see which one's able to get more value.
Fortify is used early here from Melon. Look at that, might be the ghost signal for the Blizzard from Pneumonia, but instead opts to run away for now. Javelin gonna land. Already 1 HP. We'll get back into safety of the hotel. We'll check in for a stay. But still, a lot of ults for both these teams here. Fortifies on our exchange of Sanrong. First of all, Silver Tals. A lot of ults being used here. Wind slams down first, but the healing of the Transcends is too much. But now it's already solo hitting with Silver Tals falling. Melon has Fortify on point, but the headshot over onto Ari and the wall. KSM falls the one up, and the DPS for the Roosters once again coming out clutch with the picks, and now it's just gonna be DPS ults for the Roosters, or for the Seadragons, and this is their only chance.
Yeah, these fights are just so scrappy. Ari finally switches from the Zen onto the Sprig here, but I think that might just be a little bit too late. Only about 1 minute left in the attack here. Casey Dunn has his ult, but on the other side, both DPS ults are built for the Seadragons, so might be able to kind of catch something here with the Bob or with the Blizzard here.
Yeah, Tenby's gonna walk forward here with that Blizzard. We'll get multiple members, but the spin and the Fortify. But Casey Dunn will be the one, in fact, to open things up. It's gonna be 2 for 2, but Pneumonia in the hotel. Trying to bring it back for his team now, which is the DPS, Casey Dunn, and Pneumonia against Melon on this point. Melon just trying to stay alive. I mean, we have Pneumonia has his block as well. Melon just trying to run away, but the reinforcements are coming for the Roosters here quickly. The DPS holding him back. Now the Blizzard. They find Ari on the swap over onto the Lucio. Now it's 1 for 1. Melon falling. Sunrise swaps over onto the Venture, but falls. Once again, just so scrappy. But it's now Wind with this resource, a huge advantage for the Roosters. But Super Tals lighting up the kill feed, finding 2 kills. The Javelin not gonna land on a Tanopy, and now Wind forced back. Super Tals might just clutches one up for the squad. Alias has done just that. Very dangerous, but they are gonna get it.
Tanopy ultimately able to just kind of hold down that point. They did lose Melon, so that point presence is gone, but when Tanopy's able to come back, you get that block, you get that wall, you can really hold down that point there. So really good play there by Tanopy just to kind of stabilize, and then huge plays by Silver Tals to kind of get those picks. Huge advantage here in terms of this orbital ray coming out for Silver Tals. I don't know if he's identified that he has it first. After seeing that last fight, how much he fragged, I'm sure he probably is thinking about it. So if Silver Tals could try to use this early, knowing that the Blizzard is out from Pneumonia, maybe try to catch this the Roosters here before this orbital ray is built from Chuki Poop.
Casey Dunn has decent charge here, gonna land over on Tanby. Tanby just a body shot. Speed ring from Tukipuk tries to re-engage here, but now Tukipuk has the overrated match. The advantage has dissipated away. With the Blizzard on to Wind is gonna get frozen on up. Didn't opt to use the terrorist mode. Already taken down by the slow orb. And now Wind drops down from the Maywall with their own terror surge, but taken down in the damage. Melon slams on down, but nobody found that when EJ has the rally for the sustain. And now Melon forced her back up for a second here. Pneumonia tried to go in and build on this Blizzard, 10% away from that one, but a Javelin will force his May into awkward position. EJ is there with a shield just in time, but Tanopy lands the icicle from way downtown, Steph Curry. And that will probably be them forcing him back, and that might be a point A, especially with this wall isolating EJ, a great wall from Tanopy. And that will be point B here for the Seadragons, despite a rough start on A. They just blaze their way through B.
Yeah, massive staggers coming out there. Wind might be able to touch here. There are ults to follow up, but I don't think he's quite able to get there in time, especially with that wall. And the Seadragons are able to cap point too.
And now looking at the ultimate advantage here for the Roosters, they gotta pop now, or the mid-fight ults will come online for the Seadragons. It can continue this momentum. Fortify first early out of Melon, has spin away. They're just gonna kite this ultimate out, not allow the overclock to find any kills here. And a great play from the Sunrock is behind enemy lines as well, hiding in the staircase. Close to Tectonic Shock. Tanopy right with the Blizzard. Silvertile is gonna be the one to open things up with this orbital array. Walking forward, be a response from Tukipuk. But Pneumonia dies, cannot use the Blizzard. You see it when you type in Bravro // in the chat, you know he's feeling the pain. And now the Seadragon continue this momentum forward, having 3 ults to try to stabilize and get the last point on C.
Yeah, they did use 2 ults there, but both the orbital rays are traded, so they're kind of the big ones. Now you have both DPS ults, which are kind of huge here for the Seadragons. Pneumonia does have a Blizzard of his own, so could try to match that, but having that rally and that Tectonic Shock on top of that is going to be really rough here for the Roosters to deal with.
And Sonic is just taking these off angles, taking these flanks, ever swapping towards Adventure. Ball's pretty low there, 4 HP, but will get healed up. Blizzards are exchanged. We got a bit of a Venn diagram on point of source for these Blizzards, but nothing going to happen out of that one. Ori, in fact, we want to open things up with this rally, but Win down. Back for the defense here now. 53 seconds left in the time bank. Sonic Rock still has his Tectonic Shock. KC isolated, but KC finds the kill. EJ has his rally on point for a last stabilization for the Roosters, landing last potential holdings. But Pneumonia once again taken down by Paninii. Paninii looking so good on the Mei right now. His signature hero. Sonic trying to get back towards his point to try to help his team, but might not even be needed. Oh, but Win comes back with a clutch 2K. And now it's a very staggered out fight. Casey Dunn will be sliding back in with this charge over on towards the left side, pelting Melon. Melon has the Terror Surge, uses it, takes down Pneumonia. Over to Raze once again, exchange, and now 12 seconds remaining. Silvertail's falling a little too close to the sun there as Casey Dunn takes the shot. Very scrappy engage for both these teams, but the overclock might just do it here. Still not done just yet, though. Melon falling very low on point. Sonic emerges from the ground. Sonic trying to clutch up for the squad. The captain once again, but Casey Dunn will eventually assert the differential on the DPS. And just towards the end of C, both how A was looking, you'll definitely take this if you are the Seadragons. Definitely a winnable situation right now.
Yeah, that's a really good recovery coming out for the Seadragons. It looked like they were going to get full held on first point there. Able to get it that deep into the third is huge there, especially the fact that they are defending second, which means they are going to have another last chance to kind of contest that point. I think there is a slight advantage defending second because you do have that ability to kind of choose where that last fight is and just kind of get the slight advantage in like where you know where you have to hold it to. So they're going to try to fight on that last point if it does get that far. But yeah, I'm just rambling right now. Really good fights there. I think ultimately kind of the big difference maker is Paninii late, especially second and third point, was able to get so much value, able to kind of catch Pneumonia out early a couple of fights there. So, yeah, hopefully for him he keeps that up. Pneumonia did swap late to the Echo, so I'm kind of curious if he is going to stay the Mei here, if he's going to swap something up.
Looks to be opting into that Echo here. Maybe thinking Paninii, not really known for hard hit scan players, Sonic playing the Ashe, but might not be enough damage to take down this Echo, and the Echo can put a little more pressure, on the Orisa with those stickies with that focusing beam. But for now, is playing Bastion, but they just spawn shenanigans. Case Dunn going for an opening shot, see if he can land. No, one back over onto the Mei. Bread and butter, signature hero, back and forth. Well, great bit of damage for Casey Dunn over on the Melon, instantly healed up, but solid 5% of the all charge, another headshot. But opting in and sticking with his Widow. No swaps.
Interesting.
Oh, but Melon is the one that opens things up with a headshot. The sniper is not needed, so it's going to be the Orisa. He smelled it immediately, and that could be a bit of an overextension from Melon. That could be a huge advantage right now for the Roosters. Walking in, forcing this high ground advantage. Took a book trying to get up for the team. But now Ori drops his wall over on the form booth. Now the support's in a tough position. And that might just be point A. A speed run. Take advantage of the overaggression, especially if Ori stuck in this hotel. Body blocked by the Mei. Casey then finds the headshot as well over on a Paninii, and now this going to be point A captured. And a great start for the Rooster on their attack, punishing Melon for that overaggression.
Yeah, this is such a good point for Casey Dunn to be on this Widow here. Ari being able to get out there is huge, because if Ari's able to die there, that's massive momentum swing for the Roosters, as you're able to not only take that point, but able to kind of take these next few corners here if you are able to catch out Ari there. But ultimately, Melon provides the peel, gets him out, and Seadragons able to hold a little bit closer than they otherwise would have.
Pneumonia already has Blizzard here ready to go, opting to try to wait out for this Javelin spin for this Fortify. And puts it right on towards the bookstore, but gets Javelin to wipe, but Sanrock finds the end of Casey Dunn's sniper rifle. Another headshot there for Casey Dunn as another quick fight victory for the Roosters as they are continuing this blazing pace through Kings Row, not slowing down at all.
Yeah, not only are they going at this pace, but they only used one ult that last fight. The Seadragons are starting to build some ults of their own, but going into this Orbital Ray, going into the Rally, and going into this Terra Surge is really tough. I do expect them to kind of use that Blizzard again to shut down Chukupook's Orbital Ray, but late in the fight, going up against that Rally, going up against that Terra Surge, could get really scrappy really quickly here.
Win trying to go for that Javelin off the map over onto Melon, but Melon staying alive through all that. Be a very heavy ultimate fight for both teams. Orbital Rays are exchanged. An early terror surge finds Ari. Melon trying to find his equal value, but Wind goes on in very aggressively and will fall. So down the tank, this could be the goal point for Seadragons to bring it back in their favor. But Pneumonia's walking it down now. Melon falling low as well. Is trying to get healed by Silver Tails and pelting the Reason full as much healing as it possibly can. 10 HP, 1 HP has the block. And Melon, Casey Dunn cleans that on up. Casey Dunn with another. The rally from Ari is very late on points. It's only going to be them.
Yeah, I think
now a
Ari
5-minute time bank.
that.
And now, this is worthy. This is King's Row point. See where time banks go to die. We have 5 minutes.
But yeah, something's got to change if it's going to slow the Roosters down here. Sonic Ronic barely 99% to that Bob when he gets taken down. That Bob could have been really huge to swing that fight. That's the Bob versus this Blizzard here. Bob's a decent ultimate, but the Blizzard is just kind of super good here.
Casey Dunn will go down early though, but Tampy, so the DPS for the Seadragons will give their team a fight win here. Did cost them a Bob, but a good start and fine to slow down this aggressive pace. But I mean, you do a wholesale comp swap and you have no ults now. The Bob is gone, walking into a Blizzard, and basically last fight territory right now for the Roosters, and it's gonna be very tough here. 4 minutes left in time bank.
Yeah, but for the Seadragons, they are just around the corner from this duplicate and this orbital ray. So if they play slow here, building those ults could be huge to open this up. But like I said earlier, this Blizzard is just such a good ultimate.
We did have EJ falling very low there, but does get healed back up here. Wind going aggressive in the back line. Pneumonia trying to take down Tampy on the Echo on the flank and will do so. And now once this E's gone, it will be a chuck over into the small area for this Blizzard. Locks down all 4 remaining members of the Seadragons. And that might just be all she wrote, especially with EJ popping that rally. The sustain is going to be huge on this point. We do have Sotal just trying to book it around the corner, but not going to do it. Melon does have this flux, but I don't even know who it landed on. Might just been a silver wedge that we didn't quite capture. Cannot confirm. And that will be the third points and the second map for the Roosters as we go to map point. And that one was not close once we got to the attack side of the Roosters.
Yeah, that was the only map this series that felt like one team was kind of in control the entire time. Outside of that kind of stretch there where the Seadragons were stretching a couple of fights there together, the Roosters looked dominant this entire King's Row.
See Casey Dunn, bit of a unorthodox pick on King's Row, going the way of the Widowmaker, but making it work, especially on that attack, looking great. And now we're going to match point here for the Seadragons. Let's see what they decide to go for our map. Do not go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Aurora Overwatch Clash continues after this. And welcome back, everybody, to the Aurora Overwatch Clash Season 6 Week 8 matchup between the Ramshackle Roosters and City Seadragons. Ramshackle Roosters looking to take this final map and continue the undefeated season 8-0, while Seadragons looking to bring us to a map 5 and gives a map 5 gigabanger between 1 and 2 in power rankings. And we're going over on a new Junk City, and we've seen the brawl for Ramshackle kind of be their bread and butter in this match, especially taking both their maps on this look. And now going to New Junk City, we're not really seeing anything different from the Seadragons in the spawn, except Corey coming back in for the DPS, but it's looking desperation mode right now for them on the Seadragons side, and Roosters looking to finally, ascend that final mountain and restate their claim as #1 in the league.
Yeah, I do think, in this Brig Juno backline that both teams have been running in the mirror, it has looked like the Roosters have gotten a slight edge in these matchups. The only thing here is going into this, they are not going to have that Mei, as they are running Allegro on the Reaper here. So I'm very curious to see if that's able to get as much value. Corey, I know, is a very capable Mei player too. So we'll see if Corey, able to be on that Mei, is able to kind of get a slight advantage here in terms of these walls and these freezes.
Yeah, both teams kind of fighting for this center pillar area, but Sanrok and Find a great opening start here. Down your Juno. It's a lot of healing gone for the Roosters, and now, in fact, all your healing is gone for the Roosters. As the aggressive player off the back of Sanrok, opening pick for the Seadragons will give them first control of this flashpoint, and looking much better.
Yeah, one thing I've consistently noticed is if the Seadragons are able to kind of get that early kill onto Tukipook, both between this point and Gibraltar, that's kind of been their win condition here. Tukipook flies up, gets picked off, I think, by Sonic Ronic there, and just the entire team falls apart once they lose that flex support.
Javelin will force Corey back towards the center area, get that space back for a team from Wind, but look at the over to Raychar for Silvertails. Of course, much better off that opening pick. We do have Wind coming in with the Javelin spin with all of his cooldowns basically used. Now Melon might see it as the go button, trying to isolate over on towards the Reaper. Will force out that Wraith early. We're going to chase down Chocolate, try to get this Reaper out of the fight. But it's going to be EJ, in fact, going to be the one to fall. Now with the early Mei block forced out from Casey Dunn, and the wall from Corey isolating multiple members. It's just going to be Aurora, but that will be the first flashpoint going the way of the Seadragons, as we're just trying to stabilize and not get any more staggers. Oh,
Tuki almost gets caught there. I think he is going to be able to get out with his life. One thing I didn't really touch on earlier, but Casey Dunn does go over to that Mei. The Roosters, do you kind of see that they kind of need to have this Mei here to get the value, kind of deny those Mei walls, kind of set up their own win condition there? Casey Dunn going under the Mei is kind of not something I was expecting going into this. Kind of known for that hit scan, Ash, cast, Sojourn, stuff like that. So going onto this Mei is kind of a little unorthodox for the Roosters. So I'm kind of curious to see how this goes. Going into this next point, though, it's going to be really rough because there are 5 ults. There are a couple around the corner for the Roosters here, but the Seadragons do have a huge ult advantage going into this point as long as they go fast.
We'll see the Seadragons just opt into that fast play, because right now you're kind of waiting, and they're building this less percentage on Cully's ultimates here that could be big in a small little enclosed space like this. Chakla has Death Blossom, might look for it in the middle of the Aurora, but it's stunned down by Aria. Great play by the Brigitte. Casey's done throwing down that Blizzard as well as Corey. A lot of Qs being pressed, but not a lot of kills coming through. Finally, one will come through. It's going to be Wind, and Wind flying 2. The Seadragons have biffed this fight. They used all 5 ults to get a single kill, except for one last one there at the end, and that's disastrous moving forward in this map.
Yeah, 10 ult fight coming out there. Ultimately, the difference maker was Wind being able to get so much burst damage with his Terra Surge. So the Seadragons the Roosters are gonna be able to take this fight early here. Good news for the Roosters is good news for the Seadragons is it is even in terms of ult charge. So no one really having the advantage going in here. The only difference really here is gonna be that the comp matchup. So like I did mention earlier, now it's Casey Dunn going over to that Ash. So they're missing the Mei wall here. So Corey might have a slight advantage being able to look for these walls to catch out Wind.
But Wind is going very aggressively with these spins, just playing to play before Corey gets even a sightline for a wall, just pushing Melon around, making Amacha's life a living hell. It looks like they're doing just that, laying another Javelin over. Corey is building this Blizzard very quickly, though, so it could be here for the end of this point. Sanra goes over on the flank, but EJ smart with that shield will block off the damage. Wind falling pretty low here in the front line, but Chonka there to force them back for now. Melon is getting pelted full of bullets. Chonka close to another Death Blossom here. A nice burn, but EJ will be the first target. They've isolated Aurora as well over on towards the side. Neither Brigitte alive in this fight, and now Tukibook using their over to Ray Wilkie team nice and healthy. Melon's in his backline. Corey down. It's just Melon on this point will finally go down, and one over to Ray for a point victory there. Pretty good look for Seadragons, for the Roosters, and we've equalized on flash points.
Yeah, you definitely do take that. Going into the next one, now that Silvertals is going to have an ult of his own, not really a whole lot that can shut it down on the other side. So slight advantage going in here for the Roosters, but just equalizing that, setting it to 1-1 is still really good here for the Roosters. Like I did mention earlier, though, Corey does have this Blizzard. Now that there is no Orbital Ray to try to shut down, might use this a little bit more aggressive here.
See what they go for here. Ori a bit isolated over onto the side, but does get back to the team with a bit of a shield bash. Over to Ray, out early from Silvertails. Corey finds a kill on to Casey Dunn. They are going to go 1-for-1, though. Ray thought of Chonklet in the back line here. Mel's in a really tough position here, trying to hold on his Annihilation if he possibly can. Looks like they will do just that as the healing comes in from Silvertails. Will keep them alive. A Fortify from Wind, but the Fortify through the Terror Surge, but not going to do nearly anything. EJ used the rally as well. A little too late there. Opting to use a Death Blossom here on point here from Chocolate here. And nothing as the point flips for the Seadragons in the middle of all that chaos. And you use 3 ults for the Roosters. Back-to-back disastrous fights.
That's
for either
devastating.
team.
Silvertals using his ult early kind of opened up that fight, so they didn't really need anything else on top of that. The 3 ults did come out. I thought maybe there was going to be a swap, but no. All 3 players that use their ult are staying on their respective heroes. Tukipook is close to this Juno ult of his own. I'm assuming that Corey is going to look to kind of shut it down here with this Blizzard here. Going through these tight rooms, the Blizzard is also really good at just kind of catching these rotations.
Corey blocks the wall. Blocks the Bob off the point, but the Blizzard is eaten by Wind with a Javelin spin. A lot of ults being popped here as Casey Dunn's Bob is just still pelting them through up damage from behind. But the kills are here for Melon, but both supports down for the Seadragon. Point does flip on all the chaos, though. Here's Casey Dunn slowly waltered over on towards the point. Now Sonronic 1 HP, but Corey gets that kill, and Sonronic with the reload high noon on the point. They probably won't get another good touch here for the Roosters, but they did get some ultimates there on the end.
Yeah, High Noon's one of those ults you can kind of throw away. But yeah, it is really rough using all those ults. And really just losing to that, the rally, and even though the Blizzard got eaten, I think the rally was really the only ult that the Seadragons even needed there. So now it could be going into match point here. I believe both of the last points will be on the Seadragon side of New Junk City here, so could definitely flip back in favor of the Seadragons. No ults really are going to be built here either, so Melon with this Annihilation and Silvertals with the Orbital Ray, either one could really just win the fight on its own, so I would be surprised to see the Seadragons try to play kind of fast here and try to win with these ults.
With a bit of high ground control being taken right now by the Roosters, trying to get Chonkla and Casey Dunn set up especially. Block forced out of Corey here early, as well as the Nanoswarm from Melon. So the cooldown exchange for the Roosters has been won, but the ultimates are still here ready to pop. So you get ultimates. Here comes the Overwatch Ray from Silvertails on towards the point. The burn is there for Casey Dunn, though. Can't land the follow-up shot over onto Silvertails. Wind falling very low, and now the aggression comes in from the Annihilation from Melon. Getting EJ a good start. And now they also get Chonkla off the map with Ari with that boop. And now it's just Wind staggering on the point, trying to get one off with them, but will go down. Melon staying strong.
Yeah, like I said, you could be able to stagger those ults, but having to layer them on top of each other to win that fight isn't that bad. Knowing that you really only need to win 1 point, getting this kind of early advantage playing towards these chokes, especially again with this Mei, the Balls and the Blizzards are going to be huge here. But there is a massive ult stack coming out for the Roosters, so they could definitely try to break through this.
A nice wall from Corey will isolate Wind, but the healing is there. The Blizzard is going to lock down Tukipook, and now EJ uses the rally and dies mid-cast. I mean, yeah, it's kind of desperation mode for both these teams right now. Chonkla cannot use the Death Blossom. Corey finding that headshot before the Reaper can pop that ultimate. And now Casey Dunn with the only one who can possibly touch her. Melon is chasing them down in the Nemesis form. And we are going to map 5 as Sunron used the Hydrogen Celebration. And Flashpoint goes the way of the Seadragons. And a kind of a flip of the script there on the brawl look for both these teams. In fact, the Seadragons one taking control.
Yeah, I do think the... Well, I guess the other one, they did also run the Mei. I am a little curious to see kind of what the idea with that Reaper there is. Not kind of traditionally ran with that... that kind of brawl look that they ran earlier. Ultimately, just having that Mei, I think is able to get so much value. Corey just able to get huge Blizzards, get huge walls, just kind of set up those fights for the Seadragons. We'll see if the Roosters swap up anything here to kind of try to bring it back in their favor, but Map 5 banger on our hands right now.
And that map 5 is going to be either clash or push. Where do the Roosters take us to try to defend their undefeated season? Don't go anywhere. We'll find out after a short break. And welcome back, everybody, to the Overwatch Clash Season 7 Week 8 matchup between the Ramshackle Roosters and the Sydney Seadragons. A Map 5 banger, the match we were promised between both these top teams in our league right now in terms of power rankings. We are going over onto Esperanza for our final map and hoping for more Map 1, Map 2 style rather than Map 3, Map 4 where one team dominated. But, I mean, it is push, so it's a very back-and-forth kind of affair, back-and-forth kind of map. So, interesting to see what comps both these teams play. We have seen the Roosters throughout the series take advantage on the brawl, but last map, we saw the adaptation of bringing Corey into play that may bring, be a huge change in the tempo play for the Seadragons, and they keep Corey in for this 5th and final map. Tenet B, we sticking over on towards that bench, and Pneumonia comes back in. So, honestly, both these teams kind of best look so far that of the series are going to go head-to-head on push, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I do really think this is a good pick here for the Roosters. As we saw, Casey Dunn kind of playing those long to mid-range hit scan, playing some Cass, playing some Sojourn, playing some Ashe. I think especially around this midpoint, you get those high grounds, you get so much open space. I think it's kind of like perfect for how Casey Dunn wants to play this. I am very curious because, like I mentioned earlier, he does like to try to look for those wide flanks. So I'm curious if he's going to try to just stay that high ground and play kind of safe, or if he's going to look for some wide flanks, try to open it up here. We do see a very interesting comp coming out for the Seadragons. I thought this was just spawn point shenanigans, but they are running Corey on the Pharah with Melon on Winston. So playing a lot more of a dive look. Maybe trying to look for the backline here if they do see Casey down on those high grounds. Probably trying to catch him out early here.
Yeah, Corey back on that far. We saw in Lijiang Tower on the first point. Continue pelting those rockets, and again, like you said, very interesting look with the dive from Melon and Sonoronic, but we saw the dive on Gibraltar look very clean for him so far. So combine what worked on Lijiang Tower with what worked on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Melon jumps on in and finds EJ early, so a good start, but Melon has to get out their own life. Hopefully they will do just that. Taking Brigitte and surviving a great turn for the Seadragons in this first fight. As Melon jumps right back in on Tukipuk and 2 supports down. Corey follows up with these rockets, gets these final blows. And we're probably going to see some swaps coming through as Corey continues to light the kill feed and control the skies.
Yeah, these dives are just so insane. Like you said, Corey is just able to get so much damage, get everyone weak, force those cooldowns up, which really sets opens the door for Melon and Sonoronic to go run in and find those kills. We do see a full comp swap coming out for the Roosters here, going on to Bap Lucio Diva, now go Bap Curie Diva. So big comp swaps, trying to find an answer for especially Corey on this Pharah. Pretty much all of the swaps they are making is to try to get advantage versus this Corey Pharah.
Yeah, I mean, Corey will definitely take that. They do get Ari early here in the fight, though. Sotel's 1 HP, but gets the Mega right in time as Pneumonia might be the one instead calling ambulance. But yeah, with 2 quick kills, make that 3 quick ones for the Roosters. The comp swaps appear to be doing some numbers here. As Sotel just trying to get out with their own life here. Pneumonia on the chase, but it looks like Sotel will do just that with the speed ring.
Yeah, the one thing that is kind of rough here about the comp swaps is it does fully reset your ult economy. Corey now going on to that Echo, I think is slightly better into the comp that the Roosters are running than the Pharah is, but does lose his barrage. But meanwhile, like, there are still a lot of ults that are built here for the Seadragons, so they could try to take advantage of these, identifying all those swaps, knowing they have that ult advantage, probably try to play a little faster here.
What's funny is that Ari is just still only first into the rally and the whole time. Shows how much damage didn't take that first fight. Mel wants to be Sonic down! They're going to exchange here by Casey Dunn from the high ground, takes on Sotel's in their orbit array. But the kills are here for the Seadragons. With that orbit array, Corey finding the kills here. Corey popping off. Corey lighting up the kill feed again on this flyer with 3. And the orbit array from the grave for Sotel is bringing the team right back in their favor. They're probably close to get a checkpoint after that.
Yeah, like I mentioned, that just having that orbital ray, knowing that there are no ults on the other side, able to kind of bust that fight wide open. Melon uses the Primal Rage on top. It's not a super expensive ult to use there. Ultimately just staying with his life. So you do kind of take that. But now on the other side, there are almost 4 ults being built for the Roosters. Casey Dunn using that High Noon early. Not able to quite get anything with it yet.
Tries to walk on the high ground and try to get Melon mid-jump, but looks like Melon will stabilize and be nice and healthy up on that high ground. Sonoronic, though, is in a tough spot. Tries to get that Mega. So he will do just that. Pneumonia will duplicate over on towards the Winston. Corey down early here. The duplicate taken down almost immediately here. Pneumonia body block this small room, somehow surviving. But Melon with a jump and the melee is going to get that kill. The bot was stolen in the chaos here. Gets around the side. Sonoronic trying to poke from behind Ari. In the middle of the Casino Rush. Not the spot that Brigitte wants to be in. just trying to pull him through with the healing. It's going to be so tough. Melon, though, will get punished for that. And now the kills are here. Already still somehow surviving. Gonna get the kill on the KC Dunn, but yeah, the staggers are coming out now for the Seadragons trying to survive. Corey comes in with this focusing beam, can't get the kill. Wind trying to flood. Will force out a duplicate out from Corey. Corey jumping right back in over on towards Pneumonia on the high ground. Pneumonia trying to get a duplicate out. Looks like they will do that, but 5 HP and has to run away. Took has the bleed should they need it. Corey gonna get the knife back in time. Ori with this mace kill from way downtown. And 8 meters gained. But a clutch from Corey on the duplicate there on the D.Va.
Yeah, now we're looking at another fight. They got a lot of big ults out, especially that Kitsune Rush. They do still have this beat, but Silvertall's with this Orbital Ray, as we've seen how much impact that could get, especially when there's no Orbital Ray on the other side. So Silvertall's is probably going to look for this early. Could really open the fight up.
Orbital Ray out, and here comes the beat, but it's not in time to save Pneumonia. Down that Echo could be a huge turner here. Win as well, lose that mech very quickly. The armor goes away very fast. And the Seadragons, once again, Ironic with 3 on the Tracer. Will get checkpoint here about 5 minutes, about halfway through the map. We're going to find our first checkpoint.
Seadragons forcing 2 ults from the Roosters for only 1 and get that checkpoint. It's looking really dire here for the Roosters. They're not really making any swaps either here. They think that this is the right comp to work. It very well could be. They just need to build these ults, try to get some good fights strung together. But right now, it is looking really rough. Seadragons looking dominant so far.
Millen jumps out here, has Primal Rage if it gets too dicey here, too dicey. Corey down early, though. Caught off on the point with his pants down. Not sure what was happening there. Melon is going to get staggered out, though, but will survive with the help of the Primal Rage. Casey Dunn taken down as well. Sonic going to land over onto it. Falls from EJ on top of this. Melon with the juggle. Let me exchange over onto the supports here. The duplicate not quite building that Primal Rage, but both supports gone for the Seadragons. Melon coming back Primal with last couple of seconds for Pneumonia. Corey is returned, but gets hit with a bunch of stickers. 1 HP. Melon is so weak as well. Casey with the high end trying to force Corey in aqua position. But the kills are here. Sonic finds Tookie. And still just a very staggered fight here. 3-on-3 on the cart. Melon will come back. But we'll probably jump back to the safety of the high ground. Sonic looking for EJ for the assassination. But Casey Dunn will be there for the assist. And finally, the bot moves right back onto the other side.
EJ with this Kitsune Rush could be big here, but they got to make sure they kind of set up for it first. This high ground is so dominant here. The Seadragons in full control of this high ground and have to get unseated before really this rush comes out.
Yeah, Melon fell very low there, but did survive, get stable back up on the high ground. The checkpoint is going to go back to favor of middle here. Kitsune Rush comes out, but they've already lost on Pneumonia. They do exchange it for Silver Towels. So the Echo for the Juno, but with Casey Dunn down here, both DPS for the Roosters taken down. Kitsune Rush and Suzu comes out. Melon 1 HP, but had the help of the bubble. They stay alive through that bomb, and a great fight once again for the Seadragons. They have a huge advantage in meterage. They just got to keep it at main this entire time, and they got this map, and they got the series.
Yeah, also going into this too, like you said, 2 minutes left. There's a massive ult advantage here for the Seadragon. Wind goes over to this Ramatra. But going up probably against 4 ults on the side of the Seadragons, only your beat, not a whole lot you can do. I wouldn't be surprised to see Seadragons win another fight, just get some more percentage here, which is going to look at about 80 meters advantage. So I guess we'll see what happens here, but not looking great here for the Roosters.
Walking it down, Melon sent for a dive punch in the back line. They've lost Tookie Poke, the only ultimate out of the way for the Roosters! And now that's the goal button for the Primal Rage for Melon. Juggling EJ in that back line. They're just going to stagger out this Baptiste potentially. Trying to keep him out of that spawn, and they are going to do just that. A devastating stagger and a great play for the City Seadragons. And that might just be the map. Finally getting an 80-meter advantage, and the ultimate's still in their favor.
Yeah, 3 ults too. This Juno ult is going to be huge here. Tukipook has this beat. So does Casey Dunn has his ult too, but there's only so much it could do going against these really strong ults.
Corey duplicates over onto Ramatra here, trying to get free annihilation. Already uses that rally as well, pushing them back to beat for Tukipook, trying to keep the team stable through all this pressure, but he's going to kite down. Casey Dunn caught on the flank. Had the high noon, try to look for it, but couldn't quite get annihilation. Is going to not be pulled here by Corey. But Tukipook going down now. It's just Casey Dunn trying to get back from spawn with the high noon, but Pneumonia on cart. Trying to find Ori. Casey Dunn with the high noon, not going to do anything but find some damage onto the remaining members here. Looks like the fight will finally go the way of the Roosters. But I say that as the DPS clutch up with multiple kills. You would think the spawn advantage for the Roosters will be enough, and it looks like it will. Silvertail's falling low. We'll get out with the speed ring. But now 1 minute in the time bank, and over 100 meters to go for the Roosters to keep the undefeated season alive. Seadragons might just have done it.
Really good discipline there for Silvertals, holding on to that Juno ult. You have the Juno ult, and you have this bomb going into this last point. EJ does have that window, but there's only so much it can do. Really easy to kind of close that distance, too.
Window will melt down Melon, but Tukipuk is exchanged. That's probably not going to be enough here as Seadragons try to keep it on the checkpoint. They get one more fight, but that will be about checkpoint being going the way I just heard Corey screaming up above me, getting killed by KC Dunn. But still, 100 meters to go here for the Roosters.
Yeah, probably 3 or 4 more fights the Roosters are going to have to win here. They do have this Annihilation here. Only ult they are going to have, but that is a pretty good ultimate. Silvertals might be able to keep his team alive with his ult, but that's really the... I think that's really the only thing that's going to be able to happen. Melon, close to this Primal Rage, might be able to get some space here away from that Annihilation too, try to get that off his team. So we'll see exactly what they do to answer this Annihilation here.
I mean, they're going to get this checkpoint for free, allow that bot to stall and get stuck at the checkpoint, finally pulling this gold key, looking at Wind. Sunrock has the pulse bomb, could be the deciding factor. KC Dunn down early, a good start. Another duplicate out from Corey over on the Ramatra. And the ultimates are finally here for the Seadragons. A second Annihilation as Melon and Corey light on the kill feed with the ultimates, and that will just do it. The Sydney Seadragons have done the impossible. You can find us spell Ramshackle. Roosters once again. No more W's here as the Seadragons have handed the Ramshackle Roosters their first L of the season and might just move themselves right back up at #1 in our power rankings.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see both these teams still #1 and #2 in the power rankings next week. Incredibly close series. Both teams played really well. Ultimately, the Seadragons played a little bit better, especially on that last point, but nothing to be ashamed of if you are the Roosters. They played really well throughout the entire series.
And now we have the enviable position of awarding a match MVP. And we're talking the break. Basically, everybody on both teams played phenomenally. It was a great team effort for both of them. And now we got to somehow pick one player to stand out amongst all of them. We had our initial thoughts of potentially, giving it to Silvertails for the amazing plays on the Juno as well as the Ana on Gibraltar. I don't know if you have anybody else now in mind after that last map, but I still probably give it over to Silvertails.
Well, we were kind of talking. I know you mentioned Corey, especially on that New York City played really well. He kind of popped off late on that Echo especially. I feel like Corey definitely deserves some props too, but I'll defer to you. I would personally say either Silvertails or Corey, but everyone on the Seadragons played insanely well today.
I will default to Silvertails because they played Gibraltar where they won, and Corey lost in Lijiang Tower. So a better map record for Silvertails. So go ahead and bring Silvertails in for a quick interview, get their thoughts on the game. Okay, there they are. An explosive entrance for Silvertails in the MVP interview. Congratulations on the win. Hand the Ramshackle Roosters their first loss. Just initial thoughts from the Sydney Seadragons coming off that kind of upset, quote-unquote, win over Ramshackle there.
I feel great. That was such a fun game. It was kind of really going back and forth on every map. Some maps, they were dominant and we were pretty dominant on some other maps as well, and it was just so much fun. Just the battle going back and forth and us discussing in between maps what we wanted to do and what we wanted to change up.
Yeah, I did notice you made a lot of very good adjustments there. I want to get a soundbite out of you, Silvertails. Your team just played the Apes, the Froggus, and the Roosters back to back, and you won all 3 of those games. Are you willing to say that your team is the best team in the league right now?
Honestly, I'd say so. Yeah, I think we might be the best team in the league so far right now.
Hey, it's hard to argue with that after those last 3 games. I think you guys have looked really clean. What exactly has been going on with your comm structure? I noticed you guys look really organized, especially that Watch Point Gibraltar. Who's your main commer? Who's calling the shots and everything like that?
We usually have Ari, who would usually do the ult tracking and sometimes pipelining, and then Melon that would also. But basically, I would just call down what cooldowns I'm going to use and see if we can engage with that. Or basically, everyone would just call down what cooldowns they have or what they're going to use and how they want to engage with those cooldowns, and it'll work out pretty well because we would all know exactly what we're doing.
And I mean, you got to point out, you kind of known, I guess, earlier in this year as the Moira guy, But now you come in, you show off the new Juno, you show off the Ana. Speaking of, from what I know from your team, because I can read your chats, the Moira was kind of what was pointed out there. So was the adaptation out to this Ana, to this Juno, kind of the jumpstart for this team's almost rebirth, it seems, back in number 1 in the power rankings like you were in the preseason, as compared to kind of like your slow and rocky start?
I kind of just forced the Moira just because I like to play Moira, but I knew there was like better options out there. It's just sometimes you can make the Moira work, sometimes you can't, and I think it's just like the recent patch changes, it just really wasn't something we were able to do, and especially when Juno came out, that you basically had to play Juno, so I just picked it up, and I think we did look a lot better once I started playing more of the better supports instead of trying to force the Moira.
Yeah, you're building your ult super quickly today too. It's just such a good ult in the game.
It really is. It's actually insane.
Glad they didn't touch it in the next patch though.
Yeah.
Glad they just left it. You know, you could totally tell the difference in the 0.5 healing per second. You know, you only built your order rate 20 seconds slower. So
exactly, like, that's a pretty big difference.
I noticed that you guys, especially earlier in the season, you were writing a lot more on Tanic B to kind of get those, I guess, quote unquote, the starting player. You're usually playing him in those map 5s. Ultimately, what made you guys decide to go Corey at map 5 here?
It was kind of a really toss-up. We were kind of sitting there for like 2 minutes, being like, hey, who do we play, Corey or Tanic B? And it kind of just like sat there with no real answer until we just were like, you know, let's just keep Corey in. He was really hot on that last map, or at least the 4th map, the Duke Junk City. So we decided to just keep Corey in because it's up from that map.
And yeah, we got nothing else except for El Clasico, of course. If you could not be MVP of your game today, who would you give it to on your team and why?
I mean, I think it's a really tough one. I think everyone played really, really well in their roles. But I think I kind of want to give it to Corey. He really showed up on the DPS, and like, especially on like the coming off of that like Kings Road defense where we kind of got rolled, and just kind of bringing like new life to the team on that May, especially that play of the game. That shot in the Reaper was nasty, I will lie, but I think Corey played really well and just really brought us the life that we needed on that New Junk City, and especially that last map.
And because you guys won, I can say it. You didn't kind of get rolled. You guys absolutely.
Yeah, we definitely
punked.
got rolled. Yeah, we kind of got down. Yeah, I don't think we won a fight on defense. Not gonna lie, maybe one.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
You didn't.
No, we didn't. Yeah, okay, never mind. Yeah, we kind of got down, but
Perhaps the only chink in your armor moving forward in the rest of the season. But
yeah,
of course,
maybe.
again, Afana, congratulations on the win, and we look forward to speaking to you again here soon, Silvertells.
All right, thank you.
All right, that's good for us here tonight, Panini. A map 5 banger. Finally, you know, when we got these top 2 teams going at it, we've seen a lot of these games where like, oh, the Froggers versus the Apes, or the Seadragons versus the, you know, other top team, or the Quails or something. I think it was the Quails, but just saying. And they're all got like map sweeps. But finally seeing a map 5 banger, both teams adapting mid-series, trying to get the upper hand, and finally one coming out on top is definitely exciting, and hopefully we can see more of that going forward.
Yeah, exciting match here. Hopefully that kind of shows us what's going to be ahead in the playoffs coming up here. So really excited to see some good games coming up in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and do a quick look forward to our next game. It looks like our next games are going to be on Thursday. Going to be at 7:15 and 9 o'clock. We have a prod set for the 9 o'clock game, potentially one for 7:15 as well. So stay tuned to the Discord. If you haven't joined already, it is below on the Twitch channel, and you can get updates on our next stream. But in the meantime, I'm joined by Paninii, I've been Booney, and this has been Aurora Overwatch Clash. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, have a great rest of your year, buddy.